The Apple and the Tree, a family's journey of understanding. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share a powerful and emotional story about family, love, and the way we shape each other's lives. It's a story of how an apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but also how sometimes we need to break away from the expectations of the past in order to grow. This is a story about the bonds that hold us together, even when we don't always understand each other. Let's dive in. Lily had always admired her parents. They were hardworking, principled people who had built their lives from the ground up. Her father, Henry, had spent his life as a mechanic, working long hours to support his family. Her mother, Grace, was a nurse, always putting others before herself. Both of them were strong, stubborn individuals who believed in responsibility, discipline, and sacrifice. Lily grew up in a home where expectations were clear: do well in school, work hard, and follow the rules. There was no room for mistakes or rebellion. Her parents had given up so much to provide for her and her siblings, and they expected nothing less than excellence from them in return. Lily, being the youngest of 3 children, felt the weight of those expectations more than anyone. As Lily entered her teenage years, the pressure from her parents began to feel suffocating. She was expected to follow the same path her siblings had taken: get good grades, go to college, and eventually settle into a respectable career. But Lily wasn't like her siblings. She had dreams of her own, dreams that her parents didn't understand. Instead of focusing on the books, Lily spent her time drawing. She dreamed of becoming a fashion designer, of creating beautiful clothes that would make people feel confident and unique. But every time she brought up her dreams to her parents, they would dismiss her. "That's not a real career," her father would say. "You need a stable job, something that will support you," her mother would add. The more Lily tried to explain her passion, the more they pushed back. "You'll never make a living doing that," her father would say. "Think about your future." But Lily couldn't ignore the fire in her heart, the urge to follow her own path. The constant conflict between her dreams and her parents' expectations began to create a deep rift in their relationship. One day, after another heated argument about her future, Lily made a decision. She packed her things and left her family home. She was 19 years old. It wasn't easy, but she knew that she couldn't live in her parents' shadow forever. She needed to carve out her own path, even if it meant breaking their hearts. Lily moved to the city, where she enrolled in a fashion design school. She worked odd jobs to support herself, barely making ends meet. It was a tough life, but it was hers. For the first time, she felt free. She poured herself into her designs, staying up late into the night, sketching new ideas and learning everything she could about the fashion industry. But despite her success in school and the satisfaction of following her dreams, she missed her family. The distance between them hurt, but she knew that they wouldn't understand her choice. As the years passed, Lily's designs began to gain attention. She was invited to showcase her work at local fashion events, and slowly her reputation grew. But with each small victory, the distance between her and her parents seemed to grow. They never called to congratulate her on her achievements. Instead, they sent letters full of concern, asking when she would settle down and get a real job. Lily was torn. She had achieved what she had set out to do, but it felt hollow without her family's support. She loved them, but she couldn't keep living her life for them. And so she stopped trying to get their approval. She focused on her work, determined to prove to herself that she had made the right decision. Years went by, and Lily's business continued to grow. She had opened her own boutique, and her designs were being worn by people across the country. But despite her success, there was one thing missing: her family. After years of silence, she decided it was time to return home. Her heart raced as she knocked on the door of her parents' house. When they opened the door, there was an awkward silence. Her parents had aged, and the years of tension were written on their faces. But after a long pause, her father stepped forward and hugged her. "We've missed you, Lily," he said, his voice thick with emotion. They sat down together, and for the first time in years, they had a real conversation. Lily explained everything: the struggles, the loneliness, the sacrifices. And for the first time, her parents truly listened. They realized that their daughter had followed her own path, and though it was different from what they had envisioned, it was her path. They had been wrong to try to force her to live their dreams instead of her own. Over time, Lily and her parents rebuilt their relationship. They learned to respect each other's choices, even if they didn't always understand them. Her parents came to appreciate the hard work and dedication she had put into her career. They began to see her not as the rebellious daughter, but as a strong woman who had achieved her dreams against all odds. One evening, after a successful fashion show, Lily looked over at her parents in the front row, cheering her on. She realized that while she had followed her own path, the apple hadn't fallen far from the tree. She was still their daughter, their hardworking, determined girl. And while their paths were different, they shared the same values of perseverance, dedication, and love. Sometimes we think we need to break away from the people who raised us in order to become who we are meant to be. But the truth is, we carry pieces of them with us no matter where we go. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but sometimes it has to roll a little to find its own place to grow. Lily's story is a beautiful reminder that family can shape us, but we are also individuals with our own dreams. It's okay to follow your own path, even if it's different from what your family expects. And it's never too late to reconnect, understand each other, and find common ground. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life stories that inspire. Thanks for watching and take care.